Hey guys, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, we know this does not work. I'm getting my gear ready to go, but um, get everything packed up, ready to rock and roll and everything. And NFL AM came on with, of course, the latest on the game here. I've said more than once. Oh, let's get open for business here on this Thanksgiving Day that we've always seen strange things happen in these games between the Cowboys and Redskins. You can throw the records out the window because it's a division match. And almost always these games go down to the wire. They're always close. And anything can happen. Colt McCoy, journeyman quarterback, last time he started, he beat the Cowboys. And I believe that with the Washington Redskins offense, it's been a little bit underperforming with Alex Smith, and that Colt McCoy may be the X factor. Now, the question is, have we just happened to see the Cowboys playing the Eagles that are a bad team and the Atlanta Falcons being an overrated team? Or are we beginning to see the Dallas Cowboys dominate? Today will go a long way to proving that. Well, maybe it won't, but if we win, it'll be, well, you were playing at home on a short week for Thanksgiving, and the Redskins lost their quarterback. But as Bill Parcells said, you are what your record says you are. So the discussion on NFL AM is who will be the most important player out there. Let's listen to this while I get packing.
Thanks so much, Mr. Hansen. You can tune into NFL Network all day long. Let's welcome in Jane Slater because the Cowboys and the Redskins are going at it down in Arlington. The NFC East is on the line. Jane, the Redskins are starting quarterback Colt McCoy in place of the injured Alex Smith today. What are the Redskins saying about it?
Well, head coach Jay Gruden told me they have all the faith in the world in him, Kay, and that's because this is a guy that's been in their system for 4 years. He probably knows the system even better than Alex Smith does. Now, they say, obviously, the live action is so different than what they see in practice when he's throwing to receivers once a week. He, of course, is going to have that live pass rush, but they said if any guy can handle it, it's Colt McCoy. And if you'll recall, the last time he won his start, it was actually here at AT&T Stadium against the Cowboys. But I also want to bring up that they picked up Mark Sanchez this week as his backup. You'll remember against the Texans, McCoy didn't even have a backup. Mark Sanchez is interesting because a lot of people will credit him for the success of Dak Prescott his rookie year. I asked Gruden, did you pick his brain, get a competitive edge? He said, of course we did, but what you see from the Cowboys is essentially what you get. They'll have about 30 run and pass plays for him that he'll feel comfortable with, and they believe that he can also compete if needed, but he hopes that it doesn't come to that.
Amazing stuff. Looking forward to that game and looking forward for something special from you later on after Good Morning Football. I saw you were hanging out with Melissa Stark. You were hanging out with a very special young kid. What's going on?
I am so excited about this story, Kay. This is about a little boy who I met at Cowboys training camp. He was wearing a Saints helmet. I walked over and asked him why he did that. He was brave because, of course, the Cowboys play the Saints next week. And he said it's because he has epilepsy. And then he told me about this amazing organization that he started and the players in this league that are helping him with that. So I cannot wait to share this story. This family has become close to me. They've left a footprint on my heart. And I know they're going to do the same for those that watch the story.
Cannot wait to see that later today. I think following Good Morning Football this morning on Thanksgiving. No better day to do it. Thank you for bringing those stories to our attention. I know how much you love making an impact, and that's what that will do. Jane Slater will talk to you a little bit later. Enjoy this game on Turkey Day. Wishing you and yours all the best as we look on to Week 12, which will have huge implications in the NFC East. All 4 teams face off. The Redskins, the Cowboys today, the Giants, and the Eagles play in Philly on Sunday. So, gentlemen, which player will have the biggest impact and who wins this division?
Jane just did an amazing job talking about Colt McCoy, and I'm going to echo what Jane was saying right there. Colt McCoy has the faith of not only that locker room, but the coaching staff and the front office in Washington. So at home, you might be saying, Colt McCoy, there's a million starting quarterbacks in the league. Why are we talking about Colt McCoy? Colt McCoy has been there for 4 years in that system with Jay Gruden, which means for 4 years, he's been running scout team. He's been prepping Kirk Cousins. He's been prepping Alex Smith. And he's been learning from Jay Gruden and from Sean McVay. Let me tell you something about Sean McVay. I spoke with Sean McVay after the Monday night game when they had this incredible victory over the Chiefs. And Sean McVay says to me, Is Colt going to go on Thanksgiving? I go, I think he might. It looks like Alex. He goes, let me tell you something about Colt McCoy. And this comes from Sean McVay, who's working with Jared Goff and has worked with Kirk Cousins. He says, Colt McCoy is one of those guys that you want in your building. Colt McCoy is one of those guys who can lift teammates. And Colt McCoy is one of those guys who's not scared of the moment. So Sean McVay thinks so, and Jay Gruden thinks so, and all of the Redskins players talked about. This is a team that is up one game in the division.
Yeah.
They've got that front lead. They've already beaten the Cowboys once. Colt McCoy will be the decision maker in the NFC East this year, just like
It's amazing.
Nick freaking Foles was a division maker. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to start. Colt McCoy. Not only today, the division is on your arm. We'll get it done.
You win.
All right. It's a huge game.
Okay. All right.
Without
I'm going
a
to go
doubt.
with the guy across the field from him. I'm going to go with Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
All right, because we spent some time this morning comparing different quarterbacks at Thanksgiving foods, and this guy's roast beef, this guy's hot potatoes. I was trying to think what Dak was. Dak's not a food. Dak is the plate. You got nothing if you don't have a plate. Dak is the thing that sets the table for everybody else. This is a magical, fascinating stretch coming up for Dak Prescott today, moving forward, because it's not only this season, it could be the next decade of Cowboys football or not. I will say this. Zeke's going to Zeke. He's massively important, and I love Zeke. I know that every other team knows how important he is and everything they're going to do to stop him. They're going to have to put up some points, these Cowboys, because it's not just today. They got to play the Saints. They got to play the Colts. They got to play the Bucks, who score a lot of points. So this idea that they're going to win games 20-10 and lean on their defense, Dak's got to make a play. And we all remember, one Dak Prescott stared down Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs and went blow
300 yards
for blow. And I think that's part of the reason that Jerry Jones, to this day, says we have confidence in him. Yeah. We'll see what happens today. You can't lose to Colt McCoy in your home field on Thanksgiving. You can't go on and lose.
You know who they have next week?
They have the New Orleans Saints.
Incredible run right here.
You got to put up 35, 40 points to beat the Saints. I don't think they can do that unless Dak is chucking it. Dak's going to determine this thing.
Yeah, I have these guys winning this weekend next week, so we'll see if they actually can do that.
Love it,
I'm
Nate.
looking at the quarterbacks. I believe in starters and I believe in backups, so I don't feel like there's going to be some enormous collapse by Colt McCoy. I feel like he's going to suffice, but I do feel like the Cowboys are going to make ground and start to play better. They're kind of catching the rhythm at the right time. You mentioned Zeke, and you're saying Zeke is going to Zeke, but when he does, this team is unique. This team is different. This team is more powerful. And I feel like with what they bring to the table, if Zeke gets going, they can put these guys on a run where they do catch the Redskins, and they do put themselves in their first position by the end of the season. Zeke is such a game changer that when you give him the ball in between the tackles, when you give him the ball outside the tackles, you use him in a screen game, use him as a secondary wide receiver, and he ends up leading your team in receptions in some games. This is a dominant force. You mentioned comparing players to foods, and we did that earlier in the show, and you said Dak is the plate. I feel like Zeke is the ham for multiple reasons. Like ham, when you put that candy ham on your plate,
oh ham, we love ham.
When you get a big slice of it, it stands out, it smells and it tastes different. It's good. Everything around it's good. It makes everything around it taste better. That's it. When you have a big slice of Zeke, a big chunk of him in your game plan, you dominate. He's not one of those guys who can say, all right, we're going to give you a ball 8 times and pass to you a couple of times, and we hope that you just go big. No, you got to feed him.
Nate, he had 38 yards the last time they played the Reds. He wasn't eating
Who's
anything.
the baked potato?
He's aware of that. You know who else is aware of that?
He's given us 100-yard rushers back to back to back since then.
Scott Linehan is aware of that. And that was a long time ago. And this is a different team. They have a different energy. They have a different vibe. And Zeke loves the stage. He loves the big show.
Right
he
about
loves
that.
everybody looking at him. And this is that moment. It's a moment for Dak to shine, the moment for Zeke to shine, and it's a moment where Scott Linehan knows that he has to shine.
And the offensive line is healthy, too. The Cowboys could make waves, and they should win the division. They should take it, given the fact that there's a quarterback injury, the fact that they're sort of bringing it all together. I think it's the Giants that are going to define how this thing works out, and I don't mean it in a joking manner at all.
What do you got?
This always happens. Somebody's a spoiler. They look good, by the way. Their offense looks like what we wanted their offense to look like before the season started. They're coming off back-to-back wins, and they still have to face the Redskins, and they still have to face the Cowboys. Last year, let me take you guys back to Bengals and Ravens. We know that Tyler Boyd touchdown that knocked Baltimore out of the playoffs. That could be this. This is reckless, nothing more feared than a team having no agenda other than to flip a table and piss everybody else off. They play the Cowboys when?
Week 17.
Week 17. I just have this weird feeling it's going to come down to an offense suddenly clicking. Odell, Saquon coming off 3-touchdown game in Week 11. This is the team that's going to define the NFC.
There's a crazy scenario.
It could be their Super Bowl.
There's a crazy scenario that I don't even play spoiler. If they win out, and I know it's wild.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not saying
It's
that.
crazy. No,
Okay.
I'm not putting that on you.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Wow.
if the Giants win out, and you now have Colt McCoy as the quarterback of the Reds, and you've got the Cowboys playing the Saints next week, and the Eagles can't do anything right, they're still alive in the playoff race. We have seen crazier.
Okay, all right. We have seen crazier things than that. But Zeke is the ham. Oh, ham, and I love ham. So is the offensive line the baked potatoes? And what's Van Der Esch in that defense? I don't know. But anyway, I'm excited. This is a huge game. I'm hoping that Dak Prescott, I still keep believing and thinking that one of these games, the Cowboys are just going to go off on offense, and it's going to be like that clicking moment where, boom, everything just gets right, and they just really start rocking and rolling on offense. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But I just have that feeling that it's coming soon. And once it happens, it's going to start rolling. And I believe with Amari Cooper, the more time that goes with him in the system, the better it's going to be. All right, guys. That may be my daughter here, so it may be meaning that it's time to get my butt up out of here. So I've got to get finished packing, and so we can hit the road. And I'll see you on the other side.